Welcome back. This is a video on how I built my helix and materials I used. And I used the Model Railroad How to Build article on how to build the helix right here. This article here is by Jim Hedger. And if you read this article through, it will explain on how to use his method of building a helix, and it works pretty good because I used it, and it's a pretty good article. It shows you the layout of the strips to cut for the helix and the base and the first percentage as you go up the helix. And like I said, it's a pretty good article. So if you're going to use that article, read it through, and also read the part where it says to square up the ends, because on my first helix I forgot to do that and the helix was starting to come in on itself. So it's in there. It says make sure you square up the ends, these ends over here, before you connect them up. Alright, so that's the article that I used. And like I said, it's pretty simple to follow, and it works very well. Like when I started doing the helix, or when my friends were talking about building helix, I was kind of intimidated because I thought, great, helix, it's kind of rough, and I heard horror stories about it. But actually, doing some research, and like I said, reading this article a couple of times, I felt comfortable enough to build it, and it works pretty good. Okay, enough of that. Like I said, there's the article or the book. If you want to use this method, read it. It's good. I used it and it works pretty good. I built two. Alright, now the material you'll need is, I used 1/2-inch plywood, 1x4 blocks, and that's basically, and the frame, whatever framework you want to do. Alright, so the first thing you do, or the first thing I did, is I took this is a regular, it's supposed to be 1x4, but it's, you know, half, 3/4 by about 3.5. So I bought a piece that's about 8 feet long, put it into the chop saw, cut them to 2.5 lengths, 2.5 inches like that. And then if you stand them up like this, it will be 3.5 all the time, because these are cut by laser. Alright, so once you get the base started, just like in the article, the rest of it will just follow as you go along the helix. So make sure when you start this that the first turn is good, because everything else depends on that. Like it said in the article over here, when you start it off, you start off at 0. The first support should be 1 inch and 1/32. Second one at 2 1/8. Another one at 3 3/32, and by the time you get back to 0, you're supposed to be sitting at 4 1/8. And then after that, you just put the blocks on, and it just keeps going up and up and up. So make sure you get the first turn right, because that will determine the rest of it. And then once you get the first turn done, you get just a regular glue gun, okay, and your emerald glue, regular wood glue. What the purpose of the glue gun is, like it says in the article, is you put some on the wood, then you take your glue and you put it on, and then you put it down. You take your clamp and you clamp it down like that. And what happens is, while the hot glue sets, it will hold the block in place long enough for you to put the turn on it. Turn the other piece that will go on, and then you just take your regular, what I used is a number 8 inch and a quarter screw, and then you just screw the top of the plywood into this block like that. Of course you have to drill a couple of pilot holes, and then you just screw it in. Now, I made up a template. We're cutting the circles out. This is a 27 inch radius. The center line over here is at 27, and I added 3 inches on each side. So the total length or width of this hole is 6 inches. That'll give you enough room for the blocks here on both sides. So your blocks will sit like one there, and then the other one like that. And the center line, you got enough room for the train to go through. And I pulled some auto racks through it, and it works well. So that's what I did. I just made this out of tin at work. Okay, so once you get a couple of these blocks down, like I said, scatter them. I put about in 3 places. Over here, like you got a joint, so you split the block, and then you put the joint, and try to scatter the joints so you don't have your joints at the same spot all the time. Gives more strength to the helix. Now you don't have to put any cork down on the helix if you want. I just put it down for noise. And then I used a number 4 1/2 inch little screws with a 1/8 washer. And then what you do is you take the washer. One one side is flatter than the other. It's got a little radius on this side, so I keep the flat end down on the track. And what I do is I come to the center of the track, drill a hole, and then I put the screw in. And this holds the track in well, and it also doesn't interfere with the couplers. And like I said, it works good. You don't have to glue it, and this will be strong enough, and nobody's going to see it anyways once the helix is covered. But when you get to the top half, what I usually do is I take the take one of the pin drill bits, or a pin drill with a very fine drill bit that's good enough for the spikes that I used for when I was doing the hand laying track. I take these spikes and then I drill a little hole on the outside of the tie every 15 or so, and then I put them in. You can't even tell that it's there. After you put some ballast down or you paint the track, you won't even notice any of those little spikes there. So that's basically how I did it. Like I said, if you read that article and follow that, and make sure your first circle or your first turn is right, because everything else will just go after that. Because if your first turn is off, then you're gonna have nothing but problems after you continue on. And this is this here helix I have is a 27-inch radius helix, and it works out to, I think, somewhere around 1% grade. So like I said, I pulled up a couple of auto racks on my second one over there. That's complete as well, and it works well. The only difference I did between that and this is when two things actually. I squared off the ends when the joints were over there. Right here, where the two pieces join together, I squared this off on this one, but not on the other one. And then the other thing is, on that one there, I only have drops on one side of the helix, but on this one here, I put drops on this side and on the other side as well. So this way you don't have that big of a power loss or voltage drop in the track. So you won't have that many, shouldn't have any problems coming up the helix. So this is how I did my helix. Like I said, this is the second one I did. I never built one before, and it works quite well following that article there. And if you have any questions or comments, please post them, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you for watching.